I want you to picture your morning commute. You step onto the moving metal stairs, you hear the deep hum of the motor. You look down, you see those stiff black bristles lining the signs. You stick your sneaker against them. A quick polish, a little free shine. It feels harmless. It feels like a convenience. But here's the surprising truth. That shoe shiner is the only thing stopping that machine from destroying your foot. It looks like a cleaning tool, but it is actually a desperate piece of safety engineering. Today, we're uncovering the meat grinder effect, how this simple brush manipulates your brain, and why the law forces it to be there.
To understand the brush, we first have to look at the skirt gap. Before safety codes changed everything, escalators were open traps. The metal steps move. The sidewalls, called the skirts, stay still. Between them is a tiny, necessary gap. In the engineering dark ages, this gap was a vacuum for disaster. If your sneaker rubber touched that stationary wall, friction took over. The wall grabbed your shoe. The stairs kept pushing. The force was relentless. Suddenly, your foot wasn't just stuck. It was being dragged into the machine's internal gears. They needed a way to stop the friction without stopping the machine. Meet the pinch point. This is the invisible enemy. When you stand still on an escalator, you feel safe, but physics is working against you. Think of it like driving a car with the parking brake on. Your foot is the brake, the wheel is the wheel, the escalator motor is the engine. The motor is massive. It doesn't care about your rubber sole. It has enough torque to lift hundreds of people at once. It will not stop for a single sneaker. When soft rubber hits the stationary metal skirt, it creates drag. The friction heats up the rubber. It makes it sticky. The gap between the step and the skirt acts like a mouth. It pulls the softened rubber in. Engineers call this entrapment. Once the tip of the shoe enters that gap, the motion of the stairs wedges it in deeper. The force increases exponentially. It happens in seconds. For decades, this was a massive design flaw. Manufacturers tried making the gaps smaller. They tried coating the walls with Teflon to make them slippery. It didn't work. They couldn't change the physics of the machine. So they decided to change the behavior of the passenger. Meet the skirt deflector. That is the technical name for the brush. It isn't there to physically block your foot. If you really pushed, you could jam your foot right through those bristles. They are just plastic. They can't stop a motor. Instead, the brush is a mind game. It works on two levels. First, it creates a visual border. It shrinks the perceived width of the step. You naturally stand closer to the center because the edges look occupied. Second, and more importantly, it utilizes tactile feedback. If you are distracted looking at your phone and your leg drifts too close to the edge, you feel the bristles. It's an immediate sensory warning. Your brain registers the texture. It registers the contact. You instinctively pull your leg back. You don't even think about it. You just react. The brush saves you by annoying you. It convinces you to save yourself all by itself. But there is a darker reason these brushes are everywhere. It's not just about safety, it's about money. So, if the gap is dangerous, why do we still have gaps? Because engineering perfection is impossible, but liability is very real. In the United States, the code is king. Specifically, the ASME A17.1 safety code for elevators and escalators. In the early 2000s, entrapment lawsuits were surging. Children wearing soft resin sandals were getting caught in the gaps. The injuries were horrific. The settlements were massive. The industry had a choice: re-engineer every single escalator in existence or find a retrofit solution. The brush became the standard. It was cheap, it was effective, it could be bolted onto machines built 30 years ago. Codes changed. Now, in many jurisdictions, you legally cannot operate an escalator without these deflectors. They aren't an accessory, they are a liability shield. They exist to keep the machine running and to keep the lawyers away. So, the next time you step onto the moving stairs, look at the black bristles. Don't polish your shoes. Don't test the friction. Respect the brush. It's the only thing standing between you and the pinch point. It's a brilliant, simple piece of engineering that protects us from our own bad habits. If this surprised you, hit like and subscribe for more hidden stories behind everyday things.